We're gonna tune down the volume. Ooh, very packed theater tonight. Welcome everyone to the 500 Global Accelerator program in Georgia, Batch 5 Demo Day. We are very honored and excited to have you here with us today. Please take your seats closer to the front and of course towards the middle, as we will be having a packed theater that I can see now. And let's make sure everybody here gets a seat tonight. I kindly ask that you put your mobile phones on silent before we begin. Settle in, and I'll be back soon. To all our guests, startups, partners, and everyone who has taken the time to join us here today. Before we get started, can I test the energy of the room? Who's excited to hear our startups present? Very cool. I have one more question for you. How many of you here have been to 500 Global's other events around the world? Ooh, okay. A lot of hands up. Thank you all for being so supportive, and we hope to see you at more of our events. So a quick hello again to everyone. My name is Eileen Koh, and representing the 500 Global team, I will be your host for this evening. Today, we have an eventful packed agenda, and we'll be hearing from guests, including Levan Davitashvili, Vice Prime Minister, Ministry of Economy and Sustainable Development of Georgia, and Pedro Santos Vieira, partner at 500 Global. Mike Butcher, editor-at-large of TechCrunch, will also be moderating a panel later on VC investments in emerging markets, where we will hear interesting insights exchanged between Courtney Powell, COO at 500 Global, Lawrence Chu, partner at Goodwin, Ertan Ken, managing partner of Multiple Capital, and Farouk Aliyev, head of innovation at Pasha Holdings. Today, we have a lineup of 10 startups from Batch 5. We also have 3 alumni from across Batch 3 and 4 who will show us what they've been up to since graduating from the program. I'll share more later on. Before we begin, you have on your name badges a QR code that will take you to our Demo Day event page. For our online viewers, this is the QR code that you will be seeing now on this screen. For today, this page will be your mobile companion. You will be able to read from there about the individual startups and also stay connected with our founders beyond today's event. Of course, you will still be able to talk to them at the networking session after this. You may have noticed on your way in that there was some music and art, right? We recognize that this is a tech event, but innovation is also a form of art. And so we took this opportunity to highlight the rich local culture and artists. For those reasons, we invited Nino Eliashvili, a painter and illustrator, to not only paint our startup banners for their booths that you've been seeing, but to also capture the essence on this demo day through a live painting on site. Nino frequently participates in local and international exhibitions, and her works are presented at the State Silk Museum and in private collections in Georgia, as well as France, Switzerland, Germany, and the United States. all of you would have seen the beginning of Nino's live work during the registration and networking time, so definitely stick around till the end to see the big reveal of the finished product. Okay, that's enough from me for now. To kick off the event, I'd like to invite to the stage Levan Davitashvili, Vice Prime Minister, Ministry of Economy and Sustainable Development of Georgia. Mr. Vice Prime Minister.
Good evening, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me and honor to welcome you at this demo day. It's a fifth batch actually, and I checked with my team, and I'm attending all last three batches since I've been appointed as a Minister of Economy. So it's a great, I want to demonstrate that I'm a great supporter of this initiative and this partnership with our good partners here present today. This evening, we are all excited to see the progress of our startuppers. Over the last several months, they have been working very hard. We all know that it's not an easy process, but we are all excited to see their amazing projects, programs, and products because every time, batch after batch, we see great progress, and all these batches are better and better, and the projects presented and the companies presented are more interesting. So I think that we are all excited to see the pitches and presentations from our startuppers, and we are all curious, and myself want to be very short in my introductory speech, but I want to emphasize the importance of cooperation with I-100 Global, and I think this is a great opportunity for Georgian startup ecosystem to work with professional companies and be part of professional acceleration program. And it's very important to also mention that we are not limiting this participation for only Georgian startuppers. It's a regional acceleration program, and it's very important because we are bringing good companies, entrepreneurs with good ideas, innovative ideas in Georgia, and I hope that we will convince them to stay in Georgia, progress in Georgia, because we create good business climate for startup and innovative ecosystem. Also, I have to mention importance of public and private partnership, and here we have also Bank of Georgia, our big supporter and partner in this very important endeavor, and not only in acceleration program, but also we partner with Bank of Georgia and a number of other private investors in new venture capital fund, which is a new step and new word from the government of Georgia to support the startup ecosystem in the country. So startuppers, entrepreneurs, those who have good projects, they are not limited only with to go. They have also a chance to communicate with local investors instead of going only overseas and finding finances overseas. So it's a very important decision. It's probably very courageous decision from the government. Usually governments are quite conservative, but I mean, engaging in a venture fund is something that demonstrates that the whole government, not only the Ministry of Economy, is supportive to this idea to support startup ecosystem in the country. And we believe that this has an important role for the economy of our country, because we have significant economic growth last couple of years. We had double-digit economic growth last consecutive 2 years, but we understand that in future, in order to become a really successful economy and competitive economy globally, we need more innovative projects and ideas, and without supporting startup ecosystem, it's not possible. Without new projects and without the talents that need to be supported, we cannot transform our economy and make it more competitive globally. So that's why we understand it's a hard work. Also from our side, we spend a lot of money, but it's worth, because in near future, we will see success of your companies, success of the companies who are alumni of previous batches to progress not only in Georgia, but also globally. So I think that some of these graduates will have chance to engage with investors, and we have also very interesting presence of investors from various countries, also Georgian companies who are interested to invest in new, good, innovative ideas. And I wish you all great success in your projects, and looking forward to seeing your presentations and pitches. Thank you very much.
Minister, we are proud to be here and will keep doing our utmost to continue building the startup ecosystem in this region. Now, I would like to invite to the stage Pedro Santos Vieira, partner at 500 Global, who will share more with us about the 500 Global Accelerator program in Georgia. Over to you, Pedro.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. This is where I usually try not to mess up so the founders don't come after me for all the training we've done with them. I would like to obviously start by thanking the Mr. Vice Minister for being here. Like he said, he's been here ever since we started doing these new demo days. It's very important as a showing of appreciation and of value for the initiatives that we run here, both the acceleration and the investment initiatives. I also have to thank the international visitors that we have this time around. We always try to have more people come and understand what's happening in Georgia and the broader region. We have a series of them sitting in the front rows. I guess you'll meet some of them during the networking event. I know some of them already got poached by other organizations for some meetings, for some community building. So I'm happy that there's already some spillover effects from this initiative too. And then obviously thank JITA, Bank of Georgia, for everything we've been able to do in the last few years and for everything that we're planning to do in the years ahead. As I always repeat, this is not a one-off. We're always looking for to establish long-term relationships. JITA, as the representative of the government, the Bank of Georgia on the private side, have always been going above and beyond what we expected when we started this partnership. And we are very, very happy to continue working with them. And then finally, thank you to the audience. I know it's a mix of stakeholders in the ecosystem, many founders. I know that there's many founders in the ecosystem that aspire to be here on stage in a few months, in a few years. And we're happy that this is also a good opportunity for you to learn from other founders and get here at some point. We don't want to take too much time from you on corporate data, corporate info, but I do have to explain the context for this initiative. 500 is a global investment company at multi-stages now, even though it started as a pre-seed, seed stage company in Silicon Valley. We have close to 2.5 billion assets under management, but more interestingly, we have a global footprint of programs and funds that help founders like the ones you will see here tonight grow their companies from sometimes zero revenue to many multi-millions revenue. And so we are very proud that we're able to do this in this region, anchored in Georgia, but like Levan already explained, with the regional approach. With this program and the investment initiatives that come with it, we cover 25 countries, so it's a lot of ground to cover. And in that process, we already invested in 35 companies and accelerated these 35 companies. We will always continue to diversify the portfolio. It's our investment strategy to diversify regionally through these countries that I just mentioned, but also vertically investing in many different verticals, in many different industries. The program was designed, it's a 3-month program that we run twice a year, but it was designed in a way that, one, the founders don't have to relocate here because we cover, like I said, many countries, but can come here, learn here, and also allows us in this hybrid model of sometime in person, sometimes remote. It allows us to involve our broader network of experts that we have around the world, and this increases the value that the founders get out of this program. Once they graduate, which will happen after tonight, they continue getting our support. So we have, like I showed in one of the previous slides, a portfolio of close to 3,000 companies. These will be added to that number, and they will continue getting support from us through our infrastructure, our networks, and the portfolio value team that we have makes sure that they get as much support as they can as they continue their journey growing. Tonight, we are doing what we're calling the batch 5 of this program. You will see 10 companies pitching on stage, again, from many different countries and in working and operating in many different verticals. One of the things that makes me the most proud of about this is that, as you will see from the nature, the origin of the founders and their companies, this this program and these initiatives that we do prove that tech brings people together, regardless of their origin. And we know from a fact, from working with them, that if founders want, innovation can cross borders, not just geographical borders, but political, cultural, and religious. And I am very, very proud of what this program allows us to do, and this probably would not be feasible or possible elsewhere other than Georgia. So thank you so much for being such a great host for us. We are very happy to do it, and we'll continue doing it over the times. And so I want to jump into the pitches from the companies, but reminder for those online, reminder for those in the audience who are planning to work with us. We are now on a continuous application process. Our website is open year-round for applications. You can apply anytime. You can apply once and update your data later. And so this is the time to take a screenshot of this QR code and save it for future purposes. So without further ado, I will get out of stage, and let's hear it from the 10 companies that we have tonight. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Pedro. I was informed by my team that there might be some empty seats in the audience while some people are standing. So let's make sure not to leave any empty seats in between all of you so we get the maximum number of people seated down. Thank you for that. So coming up, we will be hearing from our batch 5 companies. These 10 started their journey with us 12 weeks ago, right here in Tbilisi. All of them come from different countries across the region, including Azerbaijan, Armenia, Kazakhstan, and of course, Georgia. Over the past 12 weeks, all 10 startups have shown remarkable growth in their business. The diversity and talent that we have amongst our founders is something we're extremely proud of, and I can't wait for you to hear all 10 of them. So, kicking us off with the first presentation of this evening is George. George's favorite quote comes from Steve Jobs, and it goes, "If you want to make everyone happy, don't be a leader. Sell ice cream." George actually did start a business selling ice cream with traditional Georgian flavors, something that was innovative in 2017. Now, George may not be selling ice cream anymore, but he is leading a very happy team at Awor. Please help me welcome to the stage, George.
Big names like McDonald's, Ajara Group, and Bank of Georgia choose us to fill their high turnover jobs. I'm George, and I'm excited to introduce you to Awor. This year, we have onboarded 100,000 job seekers, served more than 1,000 businesses, and made over $130,000 in revenue. Next time you visit a restaurant or cafe, think about it. 4 out of the 5 people serving you won't be working there after 3 months. And that's a huge problem for business owners. 80% are constantly understaffed. That results in 20% customer loss and puts existing employees under stress. That's why we created Awor, a platform for both job seekers and businesses. With a user-friendly interface featuring swiping mechanics, job seekers can instantly discover nearby jobs. They apply within a single swipe and save 80 minutes of job-seeking time daily. Businesses partnering with us experience a remarkable 5 times increase in relevant leads and manage to decrease their hiring time from 2 weeks to just 3 days. Our business model offers 2 options: single job postings for one-time use and the monthly subscriptions with a dashboard, mobile app, and marketing upsells to increase the job posting visibility. Our customer acquisition cost is just $15, and their lifetime value is $750. We are powered by a strong team that has 5 years of experience working together. And we have had successful exit from our previous startup that generated $500,000 in the first year. Our target Eastern European market is growing to $6 billion, and this is a huge opportunity for us. With 100,000 job seekers and 1,000 businesses in our database, we already broke even in the Georgian market and are expanding internationally. If you want to make sure no jobs are left unfilled, come and talk to us.
Our next speaker is Farid, who at 17 years old moved from Azerbaijan to Germany, and while working as a waiter in a village, got bored and started building a robot. His love for building got him to start learning coding, and then at age 19, built a food tech application. Building things is definitely part of his DNA. So let's welcome Farid to tell us what he's built with Beep. Farid.
We are Beep, and we're saving 35 hours on average per employee in a tech company every single month, because we fixed the way teams share visual feedback. Before us, the process was so broken that every time a website edit needed to be made, you had to open the screenshotting tool, take a screenshot, add all of your drawings, shapes, annotations, save it as an image, upload it to Google Doc, add your notes, share it with your teammate, and wait for the response. Now, imagine doing this hundreds of times for every small feedback. Isn't that annoying? What's even worse, with every new file sent, it's getting even harder to track its status. This is exactly why top-tier teams choose Beep. Instead of creating screenshots for every website edit, teams can comment and tag their teammates directly on the live website and from any browser. In addition to that, each comment is getting synced to a management system as a task, making it so much easier to manage its progress. In fact, teams using Beep have reported that they can now review and ship websites 4 times faster. Just think about it. This is exactly why, in just a month since our launch, we were able to onboard 120 companies from North America, Europe, and Southeast Asia. Our pricing plan is simple. We charge companies $6 per user per month. We have an experienced and dedicated team of engineers, marketers, and designers. We are Beep, and we're solving visual feedback 1 beep at a time. Thank you.
For her leadership in a public health project collaborating with UNICEF, the World Health Organization, and the Ministry of Healthcare of Kazakhstan, our next founder, Dinara, earned a spot on Forbes 30 Under 30. Additionally, she worked on developing a treatment for one of the most aggressive types of cancer. Help me welcome to the stage the founder of Go Days.
2 years ago, I was on the verge of suicide because I was burned out, and no one at my workplace helped me. But today, we are generating more than $700,000 in ARR by helping global enterprises like Toyota, Shell, and Deloitte to prevent employee burnout proactively. Half of employees have experienced burnout in the past year, and their managers often don't even notice. In the US alone, workplace burnout cost companies almost $200 billion a year. And it's not about hiring better managers. It's about providing managers with tools so they can proactively help the employees. That's why we launched Go Days, an early warning AI platform that detects employee burnout risk in advance by analyzing their typing behavior and generating personalized recommendations so that managers can proactively take action to prevent employee churn. We has a great combination of experts in molecular biology, public health, math, and data science. And we have built our proprietary neural network model that helped our client, Toyota, to identify 14% of at-risk employee. And it's not just Toyota. By helping over 24,000 employees in a growing number of companies across 6 countries, we have rapidly grown to $700,000 in ARR in just 6 months since the launch. And we are just getting started. Join us in our mission to help businesses to retain their best people, because mentally healthy employees make sustainable companies. Thank you.
While at university, this founder started his first business exporting exotic plants from Georgia to the rest of the world. So if you're in New Zealand enjoying licorice, you probably have Sandro to thank. Sandro honed his sales skills selling plants and then went on to learn engineering, then design, manufactured, build a factory, and supply chain businesses. He did that in Georgia, and then he did it all again in Poland. Let's bring out Sandro to tell his story about story.
Story has been recognized as one of the best products in the world. Here's why. Every business wants to be memorable. But to create brand identity and voice and manage it over time is a complex process. SMB companies have to juggle with at least 6 different tools and coordinate across multiple stakeholders. It costs time and money. That's why we created Story, an AI-powered brand automation platform for SMBs. Using Story, companies can create or upload brand guidelines, generate and plan branded content, and publish to all social media at once. Story is an ecosystem where multiple people can collaborate on multiple brands. That's why it has network effect, and each user on average brings 3 new users to Story. And for that reason, since our launch in August, 2,800 brands have been created on Story, more than 60,000 posts published, and we have a global footprint, with 40% of our customers from the United States. I have experience in starting companies and had a successful exit. Our CTO, with 8 years of experience as a software engineer, has worked on aviation software that affects millions. And overall, our team has very strong technical and business development skills. And we are on a mission to help every brand tell their story. Come join us.
another big round of applause from us because he powered through without his mic. Most of you probably heard parts of the story from Sandro, but Sandro will still be around at the networking after this, so please feel free to go up to him, support him, and learn more from him about what he does. Well, we're going to be moving on. Our next founder is Fuad from Practica. Fuad has had quite an experience in fintech and neobanks. Today, he will present to you in English, but if needed, he could also do it in 6 different languages. Takes someone disciplined and also talented to be able to speak 7 languages fluently. Fuad, gamar joba.
Every year, companies spend more than $850 billion on different employee benefit programs, like wellness, meal vouchers, cinema tickets, and much more. But did you know that 95% of employees don't use them at all? Most money is wasted, and the reason for that is benefits are not aligned with employee preferences. Introducing Practica, a platform for delivering and managing benefits employees actually want. Now with Practica, companies can issue every employee a cash-loaded Practica card, streamline their benefits management, track benefits in real time. Employees, on the other hand, can buy benefits from hundreds of vendors, from retail to hospitality, get cashback from our partner network, and enjoy the benefits of tax breaks on card payments. Our marketplace is already connected to more than 300 benefit providers, and we are launching with 6 B2B clients covering over 3,000 employees. We are going after the $300 billion European market, starting with countries like Turkey, Poland, Czech Republic, and more. We make money by charging a subscription fee, sales commission, and transaction fee. Practica team is a perfect combination of fintech, operations, and engineering experience. All of us have previously founded other startups, and my co-founder Farid has successfully exited from his previous venture. Invest in employee well-being with Practica. Come talk to us.
Our next founder, Tigran, comes from a family of teachers. So it comes as no surprise that his life was changed after reading one book. I think more than one of you in the audience might have felt the same after reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Anyone? Okay, maybe not so many as I thought. Well, we lost one aspiring investment banker, but instead we gained one influential founder. The stage is yours, Tigran.
"60 million creators on Instagram alone struggle to monetize their looks. And Mari is one of them. Before she started using HubShop, she had to negotiate brand partnerships one by one and manually tag products she promoted. And her income was limited to the number of brands she could partner with. At HubShop, with help of our technology and 17,000 brands signed up front, we flipped the creator economy upside down. Now, with just one click, Mari starts monetizing her looks immediately. Every time she shares a look on Instagram, our AI technology magically matches her looks to over 6 million products from our partner brands. Her HubShop store shows not one, but 50 products similar to what she's wearing. So followers with different budgets can shop her looks. Now, Mari has endless monetization opportunities. because she can promote multiple brands, all without having to negotiate partnerships and tag products. Building this Shazam for fashion was only possible due to our experienced team of PhD computer scientists, data experts, and fashion professionals. Brands pay us 9% commission for every sales Mari generates, and we split it evenly with her. In addition, we charge her $15 monthly for premium features. There are over 60 million creators, representing an $18 billion market. And we are starting from the largest influencer market, the US. We just launched a public beta with 50 creators, and now, with ever-growing number of brands and millions of products in the database, we are all ready to scale. At Topshop, creators can focus on what they do best, content creation, and we take care of monetization. Stop by to see this technology in action.
Nodari has a passion for volleyball outside of work and has gone on to win tournaments. But one of his many winning moments in life included predicting several Black Swan events and profiting from shorting markets, including Brexit and Trump's election back in 2016. I think we all want to have a chat with Nodari at the Unisa booth right after demo day for sure. Everyone, let's welcome Nodari from Unisa.
The sentiment around crypto is always changing. Sometimes it's hot and everybody's hyped. Sometimes people claim it's dead. But it's not. Despite the crypto winter, just last year alone, there were more than $10 billion worth of transactions. And guess what? All of them were one-time payments. Imagine how big it could be if they were recurring. I'm Nodari. My co-founder David and I, in the last 7 years, helped generate more than $40 million in token sales and revenue, and build partnerships with some of the biggest Fortune 500 brands. And we saw that brands wanted but couldn't accept recurring payments with crypto because they lacked blockchain expertise and they didn't know how to address security and compliance concerns. In fact, even experts thought that this was technically impossible. But we proved them wrong and created Unisa, easy-to-use payment solution for companies looking to support automated payments with crypto. For just a small transaction fee with Unisa, they can use no-code payment links to accept subscriptions in seconds, or embed checkout forms to their websites. And all of this with zero blockchain knowledge, securely and compliantly. Some of our clients use Unisa to increase conversion rates by being able to add subscribers in markets with low credit card adoption rates. Other clients are turning their one-time crypto buyers into loyal subscribers. And all of them are increasing their customer lifetime value. The opportunity is huge. We all know that subscriptions are one of the most successful monetization models of all time. Today, tens of thousands of companies are accepting online subscriptions, but only a few of them accept crypto. With Unisa, businesses unlock 400 million additional customers for whom crypto is the only or preferred payment method. We are Unisa, and we are making recurring crypto payments possible.
We're down to our last 3 startups from batch 5. For Valerie, he apparently pitches everywhere all the time, and even to strangers that he meets, whether at parties, to taxi drivers, to himself in the mirror, and even in his sleep. His teammates confirmed that to me. Well, let's not keep him from presenting to you all any longer. Valerie, let's get you up here.
The Gen AI market is overcrowded, but we found the opportunity to create personalized content for brands. Hi, I'm Valerie, co-founder and CEO of My Syn. And in just 5 months since our launch, we are already working with 20 customers, including well-known brands such as Pernod Ricard and Tequila Almeca. Currently, marketers still invest months and billions in traditional production. Until recently, they didn't have any choice. But now, they can quickly generate any content with AI, right? Wrong. The latest AI models are great generalists. However, brands need specific content, like content for this bottle of tequila. My Syn allows marketers to create content within their corporate style, with their ambassadors and products, with much better ROI as a result. Thanks to our training engine and Gen AI technology, images from My Syn always look extremely realistic and alive. Businesses can create content 10 times faster and 80% cheaper. This enables them to run highly efficient ad campaigns with the unlimited stream of personalized content. We launched 5 months ago and already have more than $100,000 in ARR and work with well-known brands. We are two-time founders, researchers, and engineers with deep expertise in AI, brand marketing, and computer graphics. Now, we have a fully built product, many customers, and we are growing. Let's ensure that all brands, regardless of size and budget, can create personalized images without hassle.
When the 500 team sets out to find out fun facts about our founders, we never know what we might get. Well, our next founder was keynoting with the director of the FBI and negotiating international agreements with ministers at the age of 26. Robert has since told me many more intriguing stories from his time working at the UN, which I'll leave you to get more out of him at his booth. Please help me welcome Robert from My AI.
My co-founder Paul and I like to joke, we're brothers from another mother. And we love to connect things, big, complex things. Paul built the blockchain infrastructure connecting major banks in Africa. And I built the intelligence infrastructure that governments use to find bad guys. And together, we've built the rewards infrastructure that's already connecting 15 brands and major brand partners such as Farfetch through a new system. 2 million of their customers are now able to instantly redeem their rewards across thousands of products from any connected brand. It's great for consumers. They get to buy more with rewards. And brands love it because they get to acquire new customers using a rewards program. Now, these are benefits that traditional rewards coalitions have promised in the past. But the problem is that less than 1% of brands actually participate in these coalitions. So what's going on with the other 99% of the market? Why aren't they participating? Well, first of all, traditional rewards coalitions like airline miles programs
are extremely expensive and very difficult to set up. They can take years to negotiate before they actually launch. Secondly, and very importantly, when we talk to brands, they tell us that they want to have the control of having their own rewards program because they want to build something called brand loyalty to them and not to a coalition. So instead of building a new coalition, we decided we'd get rid of coalitions altogether with a simple API. Brands get to have their own rewards, their own branding, their own control, the things that they tell us that they want. And we provide the data and behavioral consumer insights to make them successful in the market. So it's all the benefits of a coalition with none of the trade-offs. It's also free for consumers, and brands pay for subscriptions and transaction fees when we drive them value. Our API is connecting dozens of new brands and thousands of new products in 2024. So as you all finish up your holiday shopping this year, think about all the great gifts you'll be able to buy next year using our rewards.
Hitting KPIs comes easily to Aidana because from a very early age, her brother and biggest supporter would set almost impossible milestones and reward her when she achieved them. Well, one of Aidana's professional milestones was being part of the founding team of the biggest co-working space in Central Asia, where she raised the occupancy rate from 5 to 100%. We are excited to have her tell you what she's achieving with Porte. Aidana, please come onto the stage.
Today, we expect everything in one click. Taxi, food, book a hotel. But in the hotel, we need to wait in line to check in, order food by calling, and struggle with language barriers. The largest hotel chains understand these struggles. For example, Hilton spent more than $500 million to solve this problem. But most of the hotels, even the big ones, cannot afford to provide same customer experience. This is why we created Porte, a digital concierge platform. Without the need to change existing hardware, systems, and processes, hotels can offer their guests direct access to online check-in and check-out, food and amenities ordering, digital keys, and so much more. With Porte, hotels reduce reception workload by 30%, improve customer retention, and increase service revenue by at least 20%. We charge commission per digital key, but the real moneymaker is our commission that allows us to grow as number of services grows. Our first markets, Central Asia and Saudi Arabia, are valued at $7 billion. And Saudi Arabia plans to become the worldwide leader in hospitality. They're hosting an expo, FIFA, building 7 new cities. In just 4 months, we signed multi-year contracts with 7 hotel chains and reached over $400,000 in annual run rate. And this is just the beginning. This 7 chains gives us direct access to 5,000 hotels. I'm Aidana. Together with my team, we scaled our previous startup to 20+ countries. And now, we're unlocking better experience for every hotel.
Ladies and gentlemen, those were our 10 startups from Batch 5 of the 500 Global Accelerator program in Georgia. Please give them a big applause once again. Next up in our agenda, we will be having a panel discussion on VC investments in emerging markets. We need a couple of minutes to get the stage all set, so I'll come back out shortly with more details. I am thrilled to share that Mike Butcher, editor-at-large at TechCrunch, will lead a panel discussing VC challenges and opportunities, as well as what more can be done to attract more VCs to emerging markets. Joining him today, we have market experts and VC stakeholders, including Courtney Pal, COO at 500 Global, Lawrence Chu, partner at Goodwin, Ertan Khan, managing partner of Multiple Capital, and Farouk Aliyev, head of innovation at Pasha Holdings. I'd now like to invite Mike, Courtney, Lawrence, Ertan, and Farouk on stage, please. And Mike, over to you.
Everybody, having a good time? Yeah? I'm excited. Those people who just left don't know what they're missing. Come on, please. I'm excited also to see that a startup here is headed by a CEO who actually profited from Brexit. I'd like to meet you afterwards, because I certainly didn't. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for my fantastic panel here. You've heard who they are. And we're going to get into this right now. What is going on in there? I'm really excited. I've never been to Tbilisi. Isn't that terrible? And I'm having a great time. Are you having a great time here?
I love Tbilisi. It's definitely not my first time, and every time I'm here, I'm just ready to go have dinner with the most delicious food you've ever had is in Tbilisi.
Isn't it great? I'm really having a great time. I feel like we should have, like, cigars and whiskey or something with these chairs. But we have a fantastic panel, and I'd love to unpack what's going on in this part of the world. Courtney, let me turn to you first, of course. I think you were just in Egypt, weren't you? Yes. Your air miles must be clocking up. And it's a very pertinent point that, you've just been in Egypt, now you're here, and emerging markets are just, I know, you and I have obviously seen how the emerging markets around the world have grown. Should we be excited right now, or should we be like Silicon Valley at the moment? Because they're very sort of down, aren't they? It's a flat year, nobody's investing. This is happening in London as well, by the way, everybody. It's very, very down. Oh, God, stay alive till 25. And it's all a bit depressing, isn't it? But you must be seeing, because of what you do and because of what 500 does, you must be actually thinking, hold on a minute, we think we're onto something else.
Absolutely. I mean, I think certainly you should not be a VC or a founder if you're not an optimist in some way. But no, I think it's an incredible time to be investing, and particularly across emerging markets, because if you look at our thesis, for example, we started in 2010 in Silicon Valley. We've now invested in over 80 countries. We have nearly 50 companies valued at $1 billion, and almost half of those companies are from outside of the US. And we truly believe that we are just at the beginning of many markets taking off around the world, this region included. And so absolutely, if you look at the youth populations, the demographics, the Wi-Fi access, the mobile access, and all of the incredible technical innovation that's come in the last few years, it's nothing but up, I think, across emerging markets, and we should continue to invest.
And Larry, turning to you, you probably hear the same sort of things that I do as well, especially amongst the VC world. It's 2023, and things have been a bit flat, but also it probably is an amazing time to be an early-stage startup right now.
This is the best time to build a company, right? Everyone knows that in a downturn, you have to learn to work with constraints. Like, this is where the best founders are going to be proved. As you said, we're all optimists. I think there's a good dose of optimism, and this is going to separate the wheat from the chaff, as we say. I think founder startup or the entrepreneur ecosystem has become a bit of a cultural phenomenon over the last 5 years, right? And people sort of have jumped into it because it's cool. I think now, like, people are building companies now have to learn how to really build sustainable companies, and it's a great opportunity.
Sustainability, I think, is definitely a watchword. Speaking of emerging markets, representing on the panel, Farouk with Pasha Holdings, based out of Azerbaijan, but you guys are really getting on the train now, aren't you? We were talking earlier that you're now an LP in the first VC out of the country. You obviously have a very interesting and growing talent base. What's going on in your part of the world, and what do you see?
I think it is very similar things is happening in this region, and Azerbaijan.
Hold the mic a bit closer.
Yeah. And for Azerbaijan, specifically this year, I would say last 2-3 years, Azerbaijan has been actively building its innovation ecosystem, and I can see here both government and corporates working hand in hand, which is a great...
You just had a very large conference, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there?
Yeah, 10 days ago, actually. It was one of the, I would say, biggest innovation events of this region. We focus on actually linking innovation ecosystems of these countries, because we understand that separately, all these ecosystems, they are not very strong to compete with the rest of the world. That's why we aim at linking this ecosystem, working hand in hand together with these countries, linking investors, linking startups, linking corporates, and we already see the upside of this approach.
I see. So it's really at the moment, I think it's almost like the synapses in the brain starting to connect, especially across this region. But Ertan, you've got a sort of a different kind of a perspective, haven't you? You've got. Oh, by the way, can I just say Ertan Can is just the best name, because Mr. Can, as in can do. You've got a different perspective. As a fund of funds, you're investing in, as an LP, you're funding in VCs. I mean, what are you hearing in the market at the moment? Are people gung-ho? Are they investing in emerging markets? What's going on?
First of all, my name is not Can. I know that Germans and English, always say my name wrong. It's Can, as most probably know. I have a Turkish background. But yeah, thanks for the name, by the way. So I don't know if you know what a fund of fund is or what an LP is, but very simply put, a fund of fund or an LP are the investors that invest in funds and not in companies, right? So my job is to invest in other VC funds. And I'm doing this for 10, 11 years now, and I've backed very early on emerging markets like Eastern Europe and the Baltics. And I have to say that even the biggest winner in our portfolio is a Romanian company, so it was a complete surprise for my investors back then because no one believed in that region. So I think we were also lucky investing in what we would consider an emerging market where you've never seen something before. Now, this is exactly the same thing for all other emerging markets. Typically conservative investors would say, oh, we've seen nothing in Georgia or Azerbaijan or Armenia yet, so why would we invest? You have to invest before, right? And to your point, if today is a great time, we don't even believe in timing, so you have to be invested all the time. That's the point. So yes, I think in general it's a great time to create companies at the moment and to invest in companies, but we don't know, right, the right timing or the right answer. So it might be in 3 years or 3 years ago that some of the best companies were created. UiPath in Romania was created 10 years before it became a successful company, right? Raised capital, really. So it's sometimes very random, and I would always say, as an investor, especially in emerging markets, don't try to time markets, try to be invested in those markets also that no one really looks at and no one expects anything, because sometimes there you have the biggest surprises.
In a way, what we really need to do is invent a time machine, so you can go, oh, yes, I was terribly clever to invest at that time. But as you say, it's actually better to just keep on going. And I think that the risk involved in investing in startups has different profiles. And I think, oddly enough, Larry, you probably would agree that 2 years ago, there was quite a high, people had thought about risk in terms of missing out. But now if you had a time machine, you'd go like, actually, it's way too crazy to get involved right now. Wait another year, and it's going to be easier and better.
Waiting's not going to solve the problem. I agree 100% with Ertan. Like, building a company is a team effort. Building an ecosystem is a village, and it takes commitment. It's a very, very long game. It's a very iterative process. And when you look at all the constituents that need to be involved and all the cycles that you have to go through, you're going to have a whole bunch of small companies exit without ever hearing about a so-called unicorn. And then all of a sudden you have a unicorn, and then you have an ecosystem explode. So, the energy and the ambition that we just saw with the 10 startups here up on stage, that's just the beginning, right? And we need believers to surround those people with and continue to back them, help them, invest in them, so that this can become, a flywheel.
A virtuous circle.
Exactly.
And you 500 have so much experience in these emerging markets. What do investors say to you when they say, oh, it's just too risky?
I think we're often in the seat of educating, many in nascent ecosystem. It could be other VCs, it could be angel investors, governments, et cetera. The way we look at ecosystems around the world is actually by putting them in one of 3 different buckets: nascent, emerging, or advanced. And on average, it takes about 7.5 years for an ecosystem to move from one to the other, from nascent to emerging, and then it takes almost 15 years to go from emerging to advanced. And I think something that people forget around the world is that in Silicon Valley, we had DARPA and the US government putting billions of dollars into the universities and into the kind of tech early infrastructure platforms before
inventing the internet.
Exactly, before we ever had Silicon Valley. So I think that's exactly what you're seeing happening all around the world in these ecosystems. And I just want to pick up on a point that Larry said. We often cite what we call an ecosystem returner, which is a company that really launches that ecosystem forward. It could be UiPath, it could be Kareem in the Middle East, it could be PayPal in Silicon Valley. But that's right, you have to keep investing, you have to have a wide portfolio in order to uncover those gems, and then ultimately one hits, and all of a sudden you have a talent mafia spun out.
Larry.
And if I could just add, what is risk anyway? How do you measure risk, right? If it's just financial risk, you're looking at it through the wrong lens, because as we say in the Valley, there is no failure, there is just learning. So if you lost money, and that founder sort of took that knowledge and starts another company and de-risks the next company by 50%, you've just improved the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. It's an extremely good point. Another aspect is how big business gets involved. Now, ideally, we want big business to be involved and corporates to be involved by buying startups and creating an exit and M&A opportunities. In Europe, historically, that's been oddly, and I never really quite understood why, a different thing. But for instance, in Azerbaijan and regionally, how do you see corporate involvement in the ecosystem? Is it as a support mechanism? Is it as a potential acquirers, or is it corporate VC, or what do you think?
I think corporates, especially in Azerbaijan, and I think in this region, play instrumental role. I would give the example of Azerbaijan. I think we are, we understand our role, that we have to support the ecosystem. Stronger ecosystem also supports our business. And we act in all these roles, like we do invest in startups. We partner with them a lot. And we're interested to building stronger startups that can also support our businesses. So it goes both ways. And for the last 1 year, I can say that approximately around 15 million, only our holding, Pasha Holding, have invested in supporting the ecosystem. Like we have done, we launched schools, IT schools, peer-to-peer IT schools, cybersecurity academy. We launched like several trainings for mentors. We launched several accelerators. Early this year, we launched the first venture capital fund in Azerbaijan. So we understand our role of paving the road, and we do support the ecosystem a lot.
It's fantastic. It's great to see you getting involved at such a granular level. And Ertan, when you're advising the funds that you guys fund, what sort of metrics are you looking for? What kinds of things are you pushing? I know that also you're quite interested in funding solo GPs, potentially, which is a kind of a new thing, relatively new thing in Europe. It's actually much more common in San Francisco and in the US, but relatively new model in the Europe. What sort of things do you talk to, and when you speak to your investors, what kinds of metrics and what kinds of key KPIs are you giving them or looking for?
So for us, I mean, I think we are a very focused or specialized fund of fund. We focus on what we call micro VCs, and it seems that a lot of micro or small VC funds are solo GPs. And yes, there is a much longer tradition in the US where solo GPs were able to start a fund, but it's coming over. I think we see now a lot of new solo GPs in the last 5-6 years. So in combination with small funds, we think that can make a lot of sense. So coming back to emerging markets and combining the question, we think that micro or solo GPs could be also a very interesting alternative in an emerging market. So most people think you need government support or corporate support to set up, a VC fund or companies in those areas. We personally have a different perspective. We think that ideally government's role should be giving things like tax breaks for investors, putting money into the ecosystem. So that would be a much better way to fuel investments from private individuals or private investors into the ecosystem. I think it's very important that investors get money back from, so private investors get money back from that ecosystem. And the other thing is, solo GPs, that's very simple to set it up, and you can be very small because you don't need a lot of fees if you're alone.
Have you got any solo GPs in Georgia yet?
Yes, there are solo GPs.
Anyone want to start a VC? Put your hand up. This guy, one over there, right at the end.
You probably all know, or a few of you guys know probably Irakli. So this is one of the solo GPs in that ecosystem. So even Georgia has, a solo GP.
Courtney, I wanted to tell you briefly, because obviously, 500 is very interested in these very early stage startups, often in emerging markets. You've made a particular kind of sort of oeuvre of 500. But one of the things I noticed about you guys is you're very interested in sort of creating this kind of ecosystem and a great sort of family kind of atmosphere, I think. And I think also that you yourselves surely are looking for those breakout hits. I was talking over the last couple of yesterday the evening at dinner to Paisley. Is he in the room? Paisley? Is someone who possibly a potential breakout hit in this region that was involved in 500 before and is doing a stripe for the region. Very unusual. Do you look specifically, or do you keep an eye out for those companies who are kind of doing things in much harder markets, like emerging markets, which have clearly been breakout hits in the US and other
Yeah,
places?
absolutely. I mean, actually, there's about 60 business models that we're particularly interested in just based on things that we've studied. We've made 3,000 investments around the world. We've seen the evolution of, many of these models. But, the 500 itself is actually set up not just to have the seed investments in our accelerators and direct checks, but also we have follow-on vehicles to be able to invest at the later stage into the best companies around the world. So absolutely, we see that. We believe they exist. And I think that's one of the really exciting parts about being able to invest early in these markets and then pick up the, the breakout stars.
Do you actively look for a kind of like a founding team that might turn into like the Peter Thiels and the Elon Musks of this world?
I think we're always looking at the founding teams, in every investment that we make. But every now and then you certainly, come across a founder and you think to yourself, there's something very, very special, very, very different.
Exactly.
And that's the best part of our job, really.
It must be so much fun seeing that kind of thing happen in startups, isn't it? Talent is always a big issue, isn't it? I know that certainly this region, this country, and this region, generally speaking, is just awash with talent. Incredible technical universities. Even I was hearing last night that there are even technical high schools in Georgia. Larry, technology and technical talent is so important now, especially in the era of AI. We've even had a couple of AI-driven startups presented this evening. What's your view about the advantage that a region like this has in terms of technical talent versus, say, the Valley?
I think there's a huge advantage if you have a robust, higher educational system that's cranking out this talent. I think you need to also supplement that by importing talent. I think, tech has a great ability to bring people together when the world is becoming more and more fractured and apart. But that's one of the cornerstones of a great ecosystem. When you peel back the onion, it's not just that. You have to teach the universities, for example, to learn how to properly license and spin out that technology that might have been birthed there. If there's friction in that process, you're going to impede, innovation. So those things are important as well.
Exactly. And Farouk, I know that you are very involved in policy level. How do you feel that you can encourage regulators and policymakers to encourage a kind of a startup ecosystem?
I think in our case, government is very open to engage the right players in the market and to see different perspectives. Just an example, me being at the board level of the innovation agency, it also shows that one of the important players, government players, they are also looking for the views of corporates. And we do lots of points are being taken to the board, and important decisions are taken together with the board. And in that board, we also have international people as well to see also what is happening, to see the perspective of the other organizations and countries and the ecosystems. And I believe this approach is very useful, and it also brings a lot of insights from all the sides.
We heard earlier from the Vice President. Thank you so much for coming, sir. Very big round of applause for the Vice President coming and actually supporting this event So I think it sends actually really such an important signal. Certainly from my perspective, it'd be very hard to get somebody of such elevated political positions to come to a demo day. Very hard. Can you imagine Boris Johnson coming to a demo day? It'd be absolute chaos, total disaster. Do you get pulled into meetings with governments, and do they ask your advice?
Yes, we're very, very fortunate to be able to work with governments all around the world, particularly at the policy level, to help design the frameworks to make it easy for entrepreneurs to start businesses, to get visas, to bring in talent, to access sandboxes. All of this is really critical to an ecosystem. And I mean, just what you mentioned tonight, having the Vice Minister here is just such an incredible example of what it truly takes to see an ecosystem move forward. And I will say that around the world, more and more, people are really starting to recognize, governments are starting to recognize that startups and innovation contribute directly to GDP. And in the time where we're having to see many economies transition to a knowledge economy away from oil or other, perhaps industries, we're seeing more and more governments lean in, and it's absolutely critical. So really thankful to have the support that we've had.
It's great. And do you think, Larry, I know that you travel a lot, and in fact, you had a bit of a journey trying to get here, didn't you? You had to come through.
Yeah, I got to see Armenia. It was fantastic. Our flight was diverted from Tbilisi to Armenia.
He's driven hours over. How many hours did it take you?
It was 5.5 hours.
5.5 hours. He drove 5.5 hours from Yerevan to get here. So round of applause for Larry to get here, to make it. You travel a lot. Do you think that, obviously governments around the world, and in fact, oddly enough, the German government has been quite laggard and quite slow to recognize how important tech is, and only just in the this last year has started to pay attention a lot more. But do you think that the Valley and the way that the US views the rest of the world, shall we put it this way, is still sort of at an arm's length, or do you see the value in these abroad?
I think people who are more forward-thinking, and there's been a huge movement, I think, over the last 5 or 6 years to really reflect on the fact that the Valley isn't really the center of tech anymore. Tech is highly distributed now. And I think there's opportunities everywhere. I think there's lots of different components that need to come together. I was intimating at importing talent. It's really important to have that exchange where maybe you leverage Tbilisi's status as a wonderful city to live in. I'm looking forward to exploring it over the next few days. And we saw this happen in Lisbon, Mike and I, as we traveled there the last few years. Attracting people, being flexible with immigration, encouraging people to build here, showing folks, the talent that exists locally and the opportunities. That's super important, and I think the Valley has opened up, their mindset to that. And frankly, COVID has helped with that mindset. People are more inclined to build distributed teams and to launch companies, not, where there's a very high cost center, for example, like the Valley.
Exactly. And the costs are very high, of course, in some areas, especially in AI. Ertan, your perspective from the investors that you speak to, they're looking very much more rest of the world now?
You mean the rest of the world compared to...
I'm talking like emerging markets particularly.
So I think there is more and more interest for emerging markets in general. So I think that investors realize that in those great ponds and in places like SF and London, there's a lot of competition. So it's very difficult for investors to get into the right companies because like so many investors competing for the right companies. We see that in London. We've backed a lot of funds in London, but none of them are really became outliers. It's so difficult to become an outlier in competitive areas. Now, the opposite is an emerging market. So the emerging market is
much easier to be an outlier.
Much easier to hit an outlier because there's so less competition investing with you. And emerging markets in most cases are much more capital efficient. So you need less money to become to start a company. And don't forget, like starting a company, it doesn't matter where you are. If you have 3 engineers in Georgia, you can start a company. There's no reason why you shouldn't. Growing a company or raising in the future larger rounds, that changes, and you can raise in places like London or in the US, which is completely normal.
Yes.
But starting a company at the start, it just doesn't, you don't have really a disadvantage. You have more advantages starting a company in emerging markets today.
Very good
point. And I think investors realize that more and more.
Very good point, yes. And in Azerbaijan, are we going to be doing this the next year in Azerbaijan? What are we going to be doing?
Next year.
Demo day?
Yeah, certainly. We do it every year. We do it every year, and every year it actually grows 3-4 times. For the last 2-3 years, it has grown every year 3 times at least. And I would also join the comments that I think emerging markets has this untapped potential. Also, like the governments, they also create lots of incentives in this region, which also boosts and creates lots of opportunities for both investment. Of course, there is also like the downside of it, of emerging markets in terms of risks. There is generally regulations risks, like policy risks. It is changing, and it also creates lots of risks. But at the same time, there is also like lots of positive sides, which is like this untapped potential, new industries, new areas they are maturing and developing.
Exactly.
And it all creates.
Well, if there's one thing I do know about entrepreneurs from this region, is that they will break down the walls and they will get through any risks or regulatory issues. And I know I see that I've seen that around Europe for many years. Courtney, last word. What did you think of the pitches? Were you happy?
Yeah, very happy, incredible. I mean, the startups have gotten better and better every single time I'm here, and there's always some standouts. So I want to see who's going to be the standout from this batch. But really exciting, and I'm grateful to be here with everyone.
Well, I was very impressed as well. And it's so nice to see some very concise, pithy pitches that actually get to the point very quickly. And I love the energy in the room. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, our time is up. So thank you so much. And we'll see you later. From me, Mike Butcher from TechCrunch. See you later. Thank you. And a round of applause.
Thank you to our amazing panelists for the insightful exchange. Once again, we'll get the stage cleared quickly to make way for our next agenda. When I come back, though, I'll have 3 more presentations. All of us here are connected to the startup ecosystem in one way or another. And no, I'm not forgetting our friends tuning in online as well. As we've heard from the panel and in talking with some of you tonight, I hope we can continue building a strong ecosystem and uplift this region. We at 500 Global believe that there are rockstar founders everywhere. We see a lot of them in this region, and they just need that little push to help them to accelerate and faster. Speaking of acceleration, we have 3 alumni here today with us from Batch 3 and Batch 4. They are Glory, Test Vision, and Practica AI. Each of them came to us with an early stage product, business challenges, and a hunger for rapid growth. Since graduating from the program, each continued to actively build up their business within the region, alongside 500's continuous support for them as portfolio companies. I am eager to get them on stage to tell you more about what they do. So, bringing out the first of the alumni, we have Awor from Glory, who came from Batch 4. Besides being an active traveler, Awor has facilitated over 100 workshops on how to start a business and enter the global market. Let's get the room pumping for Awor, please.
Hello, everyone. I am Awor, the CEO and founder of Glory. I was a part of 500 Georgia's last batch, and I can tell you, this batch has made a great contribution to our continuous growth. We added 11 new B2B companies to our portfolio, including some global companies like Finca and Baker Tilly. And most importantly, we have grown our MRR by 78%. We are HR tech. And I know what you are actually thinking now. No, not another HR platform. But dear guests, in fact, the market is mostly overcrowded with inefficient tools causing bad hires almost everywhere. And here is the result. In the US alone, bad hires cost companies $1 trillion. Yes, you heard it right. $1 trillion every single year. We are in a position to change that situation by creating hiring intelligence platform that uses AI, analytics, and candidate scoring to help companies save millions of dollars wasted on bad hires. We have 68 paying clients, and we are generating more than $30,000 per month with our monthly and yearly subscription fees. And we are growing 17% month-over-month. I can say it with confidence that recruiters really love us. This is because we are saving nearly half of their budget on candidate evaluation, which is extremely time and budget consuming. And we do it 2 times faster. And also, we are improving their hiring quality by 60%. So what makes us different, is that we can instantly recommend right candidates to the right roles. And we do this in a unique way, unlike our competitors, by pooling and aggregating candidate data from every single company that this candidate interacted with, and then use AI and gamification tools to score them on their skills, performance, and personality. These 3 Awors leading Glory embodies a powerful synergy of technical and business background. I have over 25 years of C-level experience in hiring and scaling teams. Together, we are tackling for $50 billion global market, starting here in the Caucasus region. You know, probably you know, bad hires kill good companies. And we kill bad hires. Thank you.
Next, from batch 3, we have Shaq from Test Vision. Shaq is a 3-time champion of a hand-to-hand combat competition in Central Asia and was so good at it that he had considered becoming a professional sportsman altogether. Please help me welcome Shaq.
Here in Tbilisi 1 year ago, we tripled our connected stores, and we increased our revenue by 6 times. This is because online stores have many tools to track and analyze customer data, but offline stores, physical retail locations, have limited tool and poor data to make the right decisions. And we fix it, introducing Task Vision, a SaaS AI video tool that helps offline retailers to track and analyze customer data. We connect with the store's existing security cameras and collect customer and product data in real time. Then, we give recommendations on how to increase sales performance. We already helped our existing customers and increased their revenue by 15%. Our business model is very simple. Starts from $50 till the $200 per month per store. Right now, we are focusing on the $96 billion offline retail market globally, and we are already started from Central Asia, Caucasus region, and Eastern Europe. Hi, I'm Shaq, co-founder and CEO. I build a similar technology for bus operators, and now I'm bringing my expertise to the offline retail market with my team of PhD engineers. Together, we prove that offline retailer needs AI. Today, we have already connected 1,000 stores, and this is just the beginning. With the new AI retail platform we're building for the future of tomorrow. We are ready. Are you?
Ilya is also from batch 3 and will come up shortly to round off the presentations. At the age of 15, Ilya owned an esports club where people took part in cyber gaming competitions. He's also a massive Shakespearean sonnet fan. These days, he's using AI to help advance the education tech sector. Ilya, please come on stage.
This January, we have graduated from 500 Georgia Acceleration program. And since that time, we have been growing 40% month over month and achieved $200,000 monthly revenue. And our app gained more than 1 million students representing each and every country in the world. And that's because in a world with over $10 billion online English learning market that is growing 16% CAGR, there are still 90% of English learners that cannot achieve English fluency. Language apps are affordable, but they don't give you sufficient speaking practice, when human tutors are effective but cost too much. That's why we gathered a team of seasoned experts in AI and education, followed by the advisory board of industry leaders from Flow, InWorld, and Harvard University to build Practica, conversation-first language learning app with generative AI avatars. In our app, students can actually experience one-to-one tutorship with avatars, get instant AI-driven feedback, and improve by following their personal study plan. With our proprietary recommendation model, fueled with unique datasets of student AI-tutor interactions, we personalize each learning journey. Practica utilizes all the onboarding data of a student and the benchmarks, learning benchmarks in the app to craft study plans that are constantly adapting according to students' daily progress and English achievements, just like with a real human tutor. We fully launched this year, enabling a rapid and significant growth to hit $200,000 monthly revenue in November. And at the same time, we succeeded in maintaining healthy LTV CAC ratio, and we are profitable. Oh, I know that's shocking, but not so much. Sorry. Yeah. But our success is not only measured by the money we make, but also with the significant impact we give to our students. And guess, how long do they usually spend in our app practicing? 1 hour, just like a regular tutorship session. And our avatars are forging a unique and strong emotional bond with the students, resulting in 38% 6 months retention rate that is truly outstanding for the edtech market. In Practica, we are turning the dreams of language fluency in reality for billions, and we are inviting you to join us in shaping this significant journey together.
Thank you, Ilya. Ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't you agree that we had an eventful, action-packed agenda? You've heard from 3 of our alumni come back to share their growth journey alongside 500 Global. A superb panel discussion by leading startup ecosystem players, and 10 of our brightest from batch 5 of the Accelerator program in various verticals, such as HR Tech, including Awor and Perkskit, who are helping solve for high turnover positions and employee job benefits respectively. MarTech, including Story, who are empowering brand managers to efficiently build brand identity. My Syn, who creates hyper-realistic images of people and product, as well as Beep, who quite honestly does make team collaboration so much better. Let's also acknowledge the powerhouse that is Porte, working hard to make your next hotel experience better. GoDays, solving for employee burnout. Unisa, solving for recurring crypto payments. My AI, working to unify reward systems. And HopShop, empowering influencers to monetize their looks. All that said, I can say simply that we are extremely proud of all our founders and what they have accomplished and will set out to accomplish. To my founders, we adore you and the work you do, and we will continue supporting you in your journey. Ladies and gentlemen, the night is not over yet. Our founders will be at their booths to receive your questions and carry on discussions about their ventures. We will also be serving more drinks and bites over in the networking area. Remember I told you about our on-site artist, Nino? She has finished up her painting of Demo Day, so please make sure you check out her labor of love and take more photos with the mural. Tag us too at 500 Global. If you appreciate what you saw from Nino, please don't be shy and go up to her, thank her for her efforts in capturing our founders and Demo Day so well. Nino currently has a solo exhibition titled Influence Drifts at Gallery CH64. That's Gallery CH64, so please do give your support. A note from me at this point is that you can keep using our event page to stay connected with our founders. The QR code is the one that you see on your name badges. For aspiring entrepreneurs watching us tonight, we have already started considering applications for batch 6 of the program, as what Pedro has mentioned earlier. So please head on over to our website to find out more on how you can apply. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and an even bigger one to build a startup community. Our ever-growing village is made possible thanks to our very supportive partners who are the Bank of Georgia and Georgia's Innovation and Technology Agency, GITA. I'd also like to extend our gratitude to our mentors, Justina, Timur, Vadim, Katrina, and Stefan, for pouring their heart and soul to pushing the startups beyond their limits to achieve great outcomes. To the co-founders and team members, Your support behind the scenes may not always be in the spotlight, but undoubtedly contributes to the success of your startups. And to my 500 global team, volunteers and vendors, you have made this event possible. A round of applause for all of these people, please. I'm saving the largest round of applause for all of you here, ladies and gentlemen, because we truly appreciate every one of you for being here supporting the startups tonight. Thank you for being a rock star audience. Clap for yourselves! All right. Before we conclude this part of the event and move to networking, I would now like to invite all of our founders, their teams, our panelists, partners, mentors, and 500 team to come join me on stage to take a group photo. Thank you, everyone, and it was a great honor to have you all here today. For now, grab a drink on us, and see you for batch 6. Partners, please.